TB 2025, Las Vegas, Nevada. Little chat with Miguel. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Doing really good.
Good to hear. You are with Oz, or Ozinger Family Cigars in Crowned Heads, is that correct?
That is correct.
This is your brand?
So I'm the national sales manager for Crowned Heads and Oz Family Cigars. We're here at TPE 2025. We always love coming to support as many of the trade shows as we can, PCA, TAA, and so on and so on. And yeah, we're just here talking about our products. You know, Crowned Heads founded in 2011. All of us came from the world of CAO cigars. The Ozinger family owned CAO from 1968 to 2007. We ran it until 2010, and after that company was handed off, in 2011 we founded Crowned Heads and Oz Family Cigars. We're very blessed. A lot of our cigars are made by Ernesto Perez Carrillo, the Godfather, Don Pepin from My Father Cigars, Naxa, which is a great cigar factory in Nicaragua, a lot of people are familiar with. They make cigars for us and several other companies. And then there's a little boutique factory in Nicaragua called Tacanixa that makes a great amount of cigars for us as well. And so we're very proud of that. We have great manufacturing partners. We're based in Nashville, Tennessee. And I like to think that all of our cigars all have a little bit of that Tennessee, a little bit of a Nashville feel to it. You know, maybe a little, the name maybe references a little bit of a song or references a musician or some of that sort. But we have a great lineup of cigars, very successful and very proud.
Beautiful. I like that lineage. Now, I find it fascinating a lot, and this is just kind of off the cuff.
Yeah.
You know, I find it fascinating. So many of the companies will have, as you just gave the lineage, you know, owned this company, sold it, then then started another company, or then bought another company.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of movement within the industry.
Yeah.
And how long has that been a thing? Because I've noticed in talking to a lot of makers, manufacturers, whatever you want to call it, growers, that there will be a reference, well, I used to do this or I used to do that, and then or my family made cigars for other brands for 20 years. And I've always had a dream of having my own brand. And then there was a gentleman that I talked to many years ago. That was his story. So I find that interesting. And how common is that? I wonder how many...
Very common. I mean, you see, you know, Oscar is a great little cigar brand that's out there. He used to work with Rocky Patel, and you see like CLE Asylum, Christian Nirora, and Tom Lazuka. They worked at Camacho, you know. Christian's family owned Camacho, and there's a lot of intermoving around. A lot of people with brands today, you know, maybe they work for another brand. My good friend Jack Tarano, you know, Jack Tarano, who comes from the Tarano family lineage. I think that goes back to 1916. He works for Espinosa now. And my friend Carlos Shaka Tarano, he works for Gurkha. So there's so much of that within the industry. But all of us pretty much at Crowned Heads, and obviously Oz, that's the O in CAO, we all came from CAO. And had a great run. It was a lot of fun. Sold the company, and obviously it's in our blood. We love this industry. We love tobacco. We love cigars. So it was just natural for us to continue to go on, but with a new company. So we created Crowned Heads. The name comes from the Wizard of Oz, actually. And in Tim Osgood's family, they started the pipe industry, pipe tobacco, then cigars, and CAO became this global brand. And it's a lot of fun. So you kind of get to start over and build a new brand, build new relationships, new legacies, and I think that's what we're doing today.
Beautiful. I love that, and thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
You know, kind of I don't want to
diatribe.
Call it a diatribe. Well, but it's a storyline of the history.
Yes.
And how that, and you popped off with some names just there that I recognize. One in particular that was, I believe it was the same gentleman that I talked to the year that he was launching his own brand, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you know, I just find it fascinating. It's like winery ventures.
I always like to say that you can try to leave the industry, but you always come back. And this industry has a way of keeping people. I honestly think that this craft of cigar making is very deep culturally, and once you get into it, you really learn to love the culture. You get to really love the nuances of what we do. There's no other industry like it. I mean, think about a product that's 100% handmade, still an agricultural product that has deep ties to history. it's a way you fall in love with it, and
Yeah.
you never leave. This is my 21st year in the premium cigar industry. Very proud. So I've worked for almost my entire career for this one family, and Mike Conder, John Huber, and Tim Osgener are the owners of our company. They are long time cigar industry veterans, and very proud to represent them every day.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, Miguel, you hail out of, if I remember correctly, Nashville area?
Nashville, our company's based in Nashville, so a lot of our main things are in Nashville. I live in South Florida, and our sales guys are all over the country, but our corporate headquarters is Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, very good. Yeah. A lot of mobility there with the locations, and that's endemic in the industry too. A lot of folks that are working together literally every day. And of course, in our modern era, it's a little easier to do that, but working together every day, but physically being, hundreds, if not maybe a few thousand miles from each other. So.
And I always joke with our West Coast retailers that, you get our cigars 2 days earlier than the guys in South Florida.
Most likely. Yeah. Well, I'll share a little inside thing too. It's really odd, but I don't know if you know this, being from, living in Florida, but in California, there's a large orange growing industry.
Florida's the same way, yeah.
Florida's the same way.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to truck drivers that tell me they take a load of oranges from California, drive all the way across the country and deliver it to Florida. And then they pick up a load of Florida oranges and drive them all the way across the country to California.
Wow.
Go figure that.
Wow. It's funny to relate that to the cigar industry. At one time, if your cigar was rolled in the Dominican, it was probably 80% Dominican tobacco. If your cigar was rolled in Nicaragua, it was 90% Nicaraguan. Yeah. Today, that's not the case. Many great wrappers are being grown in Brazil and Ecuador, in Mexico, and then great fillers from Honduras, Nicaragua, and Dominican. You can have a cigar rolled. We have a perfect example would be we have a cigar called Four Kicks. It's rolled in the Dominican Republic as an Ecuador Habano wrapper and all Nicaraguan fillers. There's no Dominican tobacco in it. So our industry is a lot like that today, where you could have a cigar that's 100% Nicaraguan rolled in a Dominican, be considered a Dominican cigar. So it's a much more global industry now. I think that's what's exciting about cigars that are outside of Cuba, is that Cuban cigars are all Cuban tobacco. It's not the biggest territory, right? So with Nicaraguan, Dominican, Honduran, we're able to pull tobacco from many different parts of the world, blend them, and really create some unique and new world cigars that maybe weren't being done in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, or even the 90s.
Right.
And so I think today cigar industry is much more complex, many more tobaccos, and it's a very exciting time.
Beautiful. Well, Miguel, I'm going to let you go. We're getting ready to let the regular folks in here. Thank you so much again. Travel well back home.
Thank you.